Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 6 p.m. Framework Workshop. 6 p.m. stands for 6-Pillar Marketing. Today's workshop is all about marketing budget. My name is Mihae An. I will be leading the workshop. Why do we invest in marketing? I want to recommend that we take a moment to think about the fundamental reason why we invest in marketing. It is to attract the people that we want to attract to our business, isn't it? And it is not just for short term right now, but also on ongoing basis and long run. So here are two scenarios. Scenario one, this company, let's say cleaning company, they do not invest in marketing. They hire a call center to make a bunch of phone calls to generate their pipeline. In scenario two, the same company, cleaning company, they do invest in marketing. They publish blogs on a regular basis. Let's say cleaning companies, so spring cleaning tips, healthy cleaning, sustainable cleaning products, etc. They invest in their website and SEO, search engine optimization, so that when people Google cleaning company, this company shows up on the first page on Google. And they design a referral program and reward their loyal customers who refer them to their family members and friends. Which scenario this cleaning company will be more effective and sustainable in terms of attracting their potential customers now and the future? Scenario one or scenario two? When we think about our own experience as a consumer, scenario two will be easily the answer. So when we are convinced and when we are ready to invest in marketing, how do we create a budget, a reasonable budget that we can be comfortable with? What process do we need to go through to create that reasonable budget? So during the workshop today, let's go through 3 action items to create your own marketing budget that you can be comfortable with, that can help you achieve your business objectives. And I will also walk you through 2 different scenarios to show you how you can split your marketing budget to achieve both short-term and long-term results. So the 3 action items. Action item number 1 is to look outward. Do your research to see how much other companies, similar companies, spend on their marketing. Action item number 2 is to look inward. Ask yourself a series of questions to see how much budget you can comfortably allocate on your marketing. Action item 3 is to look forward. Create a plan that will bring the best possible ROI. Let's go through action item one by one. So action item number 1 is to do your research. Every business is different and every industry is different. So there is no magic formula, unfortunately, when it comes to creating marketing budget. But there are various researches and surveys done, and they show some patterns. I checked the registration list for the workshop, and most of you are small to medium-sized organizations operating in North America. So the stats show that SMEs, small to medium-sized enterprises in the US and Canada, spend about 2 to 10% of their revenue in marketing. It's a wide range because lots of factors, various factors influence how much money SMEs are able to and willing to spend in their marketing. And those various factors include their margin, their target audiences, their target buyers, buying behavior and expectation, and the SME's growth trajectory and their brand recognition. For example, when they have an ambitious growth target, they tend to spend more on marketing. And the higher their brand recognition, the lower their customer acquisition cost, which means they can spend less money to generate the same amount of leads. B2C product companies tend to have a higher marketing budget than B2B companies. And startups tend to spend more on marketing to create the brand awareness than established companies. So Google to see what other SMEs like yours are doing. And also have a look at survey results from organizations like the CMO survey and Gartner to understand the overall trend. For instance, understanding the new trends caused by COVID-19 is important and necessary because it had a huge impact on consumer behavior. According to the CMO survey's February 2021 survey report, one of the most recent survey report that I have been referencing this year, their survey respondents said their marketing budget represents 13.2% of their revenue. It was 11% in June 2020 and 8.6% in February 2020. So the trend you see is that it's been going up throughout the pandemic. And that's overall average. And each economic sector has different averages as you see on the screen, the right-hand side of the table. B2C product sector has the highest average of 18.6%, and the next is B2B service sector with an average of 15.5% of their revenue they allocate in marketing. In the workshop follow-up email, I will share a link to the survey report so that way you can have a look at it in more detail at your convenience. Your business is definitely unique, but no business or industry operate in vacuum. Knowing the trends helps you make informed decisions. By the way, over 50% of this particular survey respondents are SMEs with less than 500 employees. And here is Canada-specific survey done by BBC. I know some of you are operating in Canada and only in Canada. So this is a survey done by BBC. They surveyed 1,400 Canadian small businesses, and this is the results that they could draw from their survey. I will also share a link to this result in the follow-up email. Okay, so now action item number 2. Action item number 1 was all about looking outward, right? And now action item number 2 is to look inward. Ask yourself a series of questions to see how much budget you can comfortably spend on your marketing. The industry averages and trends, they are good indicators, but these are not the rules you have to follow. If they don't feel right to you, they may not be right for your business. And to figure out the right budget for your organization, ask yourself these 3 questions. What is your current cost per lead? What is your current conversion rate? Meaning how many leads do you need to have in your very top of funnel to generate that one customer? And what is your average deal size? Knowing these 3 numbers can get you to a very specific number when it comes to your marketing budget. I will elaborate using Excel spreadsheet. Let me open that up. Okay. So if your cost per lead is $300 and your conversion rate is 8%, meaning that you need 12 leads to generate one closed deal. And your average deal size is $30,000. In this case, your marketing budget of $3,600 is $300 per lead times 12 to generate, then you will be able to generate $30,000 revenue. If your cost per lead is $500, same conversion rate, then you need to spend $6,000 to generate the same amount of revenue. Let's say your conversion rate is way better, 15%, then with the marketing budget of $6,000, you will be able to generate much more revenue, $54,000. So now with this calculation, you can calculate your required marketing budget to generate the revenue that you hope to generate from your marketing effort, right? If you're happy with the number that you see, great. But if not, where do you think you can improve? Your cost per lead may be too high and can go down, and or your conversion rate may need some improvement. So the tip here is to measure every possible thing that you can measure so that you can have your own data to refer to. Your own data is the best data that you can refer to and set as a baseline. Were you able to easily answer those 3 questions in the previous slide? If not, it is probably because of one of these 3 reasons. Reason number 1 can be that you don't have your own data because it is your first year investing in marketing. You just haven't done enough marketing yet to have sufficient data set. In this case, start right by having the right tools in place to measure the progress and outcome. The reason number 2 can be you don't have much data yet because you don't have the necessary tools yet. You have been investing in marketing, but you have not invested in a tool that can help you collect and analyze data. In this case, start using free tools available first, like Google Analytics, to have your website data and invest in the right tool that you need and make that a priority. The third reason can be that you don't have much data yet because you haven't assessed and analyzed the data that you already have. You have invested in marketing and you also have the right tools in place, but you have not looked at the data that you have and analyzed those data just yet. In this case, learn how to use the tools that you have and start analyzing your data and optimizing what you do in marketing. So speaking of marketing tool and marketing technology, the next workshop that I will be running is on the marketing technology, how to avoid overspending on marketing technology and how to avoid shiny object syndrome. Because there are thousands of marketing technologies out there and shiny new tools continue to pop up. So how can we be smart with this? So that will be the next workshop topic. As usual, I will share this back with you after the workshop is over, and you can come to this slide to get a link to register for the next one. So one of the reasons why we want to look inward by asking questions and start measuring what we can measure is to avoid questions like, is our marketing working? Do we want to continue investing in marketing or no? How do we even decide? Without measuring your marketing's impact on your bottom line, these questions will always haunt you, right? And this is not where we want to be. Most things you do in marketing can be measured in some ways. For example, if you plan to increase inbound leads, in other words, those people who contact you via your website or email, by doing content marketing, such as publishing 2 blogs or 3 blogs per week, You can measure the number of website visitors, the number of website leads, and how many of those leads turn into sales qualified opportunities and deals. These are some of those data points that you can collect and analyze. And when you have this information and know how much you spend on content marketing, you can calculate your content marketing ROI, right? Are you happy with your ROI? Great, keep up the good work. But if you're not happy, then look further into your data to figure out what can be and should be improved. Being able to come up with a game plan from your own data is really empowering. Okay, so now action item number 3 is to create a plan to generate the best possible ROI. It is looking forward. So hearing all these, the action item 1 and action item 2, you may be unsure where to start, what will bring you the best ROI, you're not sure. If that's the case, then the answer is a framework. Use a framework to visualize your current and future state and what to prioritize. And the framework that I recommend is the 6PM framework, 6-pillar marketing framework. As you can see on the screen, it visually presents 6 key aspects of marketing. First, the foundation, comparing marketing to a house. The foundation is your branding. You want to establish the desired perception with your target audience. And with that as foundation, the rooms of the house, marketing house, is marketing strategy. You want to have a game plan to attract, engage, delight, and grow with your target audience. And on top of all of this is the roof. And that is your data, marketing data. You want to analyze it and optimize everything that you do in marketing. I don't intend to go over the 6PM framework in detail in this workshop because I know many of you attended the previous intro workshop. For those who didn't get to watch the intro workshop yet, I will share a recording in the follow-up email so you can watch it if you wish. One tip that I do want to mention is to think about both short-term and long-term business goals when you create your 6PM framework. So what you see on the screen, these are some of the example marketing activities you may include in each of the 6 pillars. Thinking about the potential marketing activities for each of the pillars from both short-term and long-term lens is necessary to ensure marketing success. That is because marketing is a long game. Expecting short-term results for everything that you do in marketing is simply unrealistic. Also, investing in short-term objectives alone is not a smart investment because this does not efficiently reduce your cost per lead or customer acquisition cost long run. But generating short-term results is definitely important to be able to continue to invest in marketing and justify that continuous investment. To have both short-term and long-term marketing objectives and invest in both. Let me elaborate what I mean by investing in both short-term and long-term objectives. So here are 2 scenarios. Scenario 1, we invest in both short-term and long-term objectives by splitting the marketing budget to MQL generation, marketing qualified leads, and SQL generation, sales qualified leads. Scenario number 2 is to focus on only short-term objectives and allocate all the budget to generate as many SQLs as possible. So let's say we spend the exact same amount of money, $3,000, in both scenario 1 and scenario 2. In scenario 1, you generate 25 MQLs and 5 SQLs. The total number of leads that you generate is 30. Because MQL cost per lead for MQL, marketing qualified leads, is way cheaper than cost per lead for sales qualified leads. So if it is $75 MQL cost per lead and SQL cost per lead is $300, by generating 25 MQLs and 5 SQLs, you spend total $3,000. In scenario 2, you spend all your marketing budget in generating SQL. So in this case, same cost per lead, SQL, $300. You generate 10 SQLs by spending $3,000. The total number of leads that you generate from in this scenario is 10. So MQL cost per lead is a lot cheaper because it is less commitment from the customer's perspective. So when we look at these two different scenarios, scenario 1 and scenario 2, in terms of the long-term cost per lead, long-term demand generation cost for your organization. Scenario 1, you can efficiently and gradually bring it down. Scenario 2, there's no solid plan to bring it down, so it will remain relatively the same. SQL cost per lead will relatively stay the same, so you will have to continue to spend the same amount of money, similar amount of money to generate SQL. But scenario 1, in this case, when you work on MQL generation, you engage your target audience at the education and evaluation stages of their buying journey. Not all of them will turn into SQLs for sure, but some will as they move through their buying journey from education to evaluation to purchase stage. The longer you invest in MQL generation, the bigger audience you can generate, you can create, and the more exponentially the total number of leads will increase, and your cost per lead and the demand generation cost, the total demand generation cost will continue to go down. And the content that you generate to generate MQL, to create MQL, that also serves your existing customers, right? The webinars that you do and the white papers that you write and publish, those will help your existing customers too. And with the really good quality content, you can continue to educate your customers, which increases the customer lifetime value. If your organization has more than one offerings or renewal or any that type of nature, then you can continue to serve your existing customers, meaning that your customer lifetime value will increase. And this ultimately increases your return on marketing investment and fuel the growth of your business.